Fuck you, Craig, and welcome back to another rendition of Coop's Quick Chats in place of the normal podcast. Yes, we took the summer off. I know it's been a while. It's been a little bit of a shaky year with getting this podcast done. I want to let you know, you valued listeners, those who are still sticking around and will listen to this when it comes out, we are not abandoning the podcast. I don't know what it's going to look like. Unfortunately, Aaron has been deported. He is no longer a resident of the United States. He's in a different time zone. And I just don't know how it's going to work. Don't know if it's just going to be me going forward. Don't know if it's just going to be me and guests. Don't know if we're going to be able to get Daddy Pro Cop back, get Joe back. I don't know what the situation is. But we had to take the summer off. Everybody has been asking. It was under advisement of our legal team. They found out, as if you haven't heard, about Russia supplying podcasters with $10 million to push a pro-Russian rhetoric. And our legal team consulted with us, and they said there's no way that in 2022 you are willing to give up the Donbass and not getting kickbacks from the Russian government. It took a while for us to prove that that was the case, that we were for free saying that chunks of the Ukraine should be given to the Russian Federation. But now that we have cleared our name, we did not get any money from Russia. We are allowed to record again. So here we are. It's been a while, and I've missed everybody. First night that I'm in my parents' basement. As you can see, I got some sweet new merch. Lord forgive me for I have zinned. Got it from the Pope himself. He's like, hey, I heard you like the zin. You're not going to hell for it, so I'm going to hook you up. So that's what we got up here now. My parents are at Electric something orchestra. I have a touch of the COVID-19, I think. So figured what's the best night to record a podcast. I was just down in New York. Brooklyn moved down to New York. I'm staying around in Plymouth for a while until work gets situated and I am able to move. But I love being down in New York. It's such a fantastic place. There is truly no place like it. But as somebody who grew up in a middle-class Fox News family, it is incredibly hard to not let the propaganda get to you that at every turn there is a group of 11-year-old Venezuelan migrants that want to steal everything that's in your possession. So walking around looking for my Dave's Hot Chicken, I was on edge the other night. One of the first nights I was walking around alone in downtown Brooklyn. And when I was on my way back down the quiet street, all of a sudden I heard footsteps quickly approaching me from behind. I got my fist ready. Was about to cock and punch. And then this little chubby bodega kid ran by with his snacks. First off, at 11 p.m., I do not know why this kid was out on his own. Second off, whoever told this kid that you should be able to run up on people at 11 o'clock at night from behind is not teaching this kid everything that he needs to know. Because he almost got his ass knocked out, and I almost got plastered on CNN as the face of modern racism because of Fox News' propaganda against New York for me. I was on edge. I hate to say it, I was on edge. It is very tough going down in that bubble. There's just so much going on. There's so much energy. If I go outside right now, I wouldn't hear a fucking peep. And it's only 8:30. It's not even 8:30. It's not even 8 yet. And it would be silent outside. It was like 11 o'clock and I was walking. It would have been a bustling midday anywhere else in the world. It is fantastic. There is nothing like it. But it's going to take a while, I think, for the Fox News to get out of my system and then get comfortable with the reality. And then that is when I will be robbed, obviously. And then the clock will reset and I will get back to phase one. But we were furniture shopping Brooklyn and I the other day, and we were actually being we were in the area of where one PuffDaddy, Mr. PDiddy, is being held in Brooklyn, and it's crazy to me with the rhetoric. And it was a similar situation for me with the Epstein thing when everything came out. I can probably lower the camera a little bit. It's just my head talking in the edge. But now you can't see the Lord. It's just forgive me, I have sinned, and you can't see the Pope's head. But whatever. But the thing that surprised me about the rhetoric about this P. Diddy thing, as well as like the Epstein stuff, is that like the simple lack of people having an understanding of how rich people have been forever. Like even like the people with the RFK stuff, like where he's like decapitating whales and shit like that, and people are acting like this guy's fucking insane. Like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. would be the most normal, noble person in the like even in the 1800s, like let alone medieval times. Like yeah, the guy eats grasshoppers on videos, and he left a bear in Central Park, and who knows what else. But he would be the most normal guy possible. Like, I don't know when we as, like, a society have, like, forgotten how rich people are. But, like, it's weird that all of a sudden it's taking these stories of, like, P. Diddy having 1,000 bottles of lotion in his house for people to be like, oh, that guy's, like, a fucking pervert. Like, of course he's a pervert. My only thing is like, if you learned Roman history at all, you'd hear about like these bacchanals of like wine sex orgies that these rich like noble people were having, and like same thing in Greece, and they were all doing like these kind of like not heinous but probably heinous, but like these kind of like taboo sex parties and stuff like that. And it amazes me that for whatever reason people like think that just stopped. Like all of the, first off, these celebrities, like people like Jay-Z and Beyonce and stuff like that, like Justin Bieber, Usher, all these people are like aliens. Like it's so, like Taylor Swift. It's so weird that these people even try to pretend that they're normal human beings. They're not. You shouldn't be able to like, I think you can relate to their music and stuff, sure, but on a personal level, you're not going to relate to Beyonce. You're just not. They're in like the top like 300 people in the world when it comes to like pop culture and impact on society and stuff like that. And if you don't think that they're like the top 300 hottest, richest people are gonna lather each other up and have sex and do drugs and stuff together, like it's fucking crazy. And then I understand the trafficking stuff is wrong. I'm not here defending any of this. It's obviously crude and illegal behavior, and I'm glad that people are going to be brought to justice, even though I'm sure P. Diddy is very sad in his cell, and somebody's going to fall asleep, and he's going to be so sad and jump headfirst off of his top bunk. I'm sure that's what's going to happen. It's going to be the same thing as last time, and everyone's going to be like, oh, they're covering it up, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, of course they're going to. You think they get... Who's going to release the albums this year if all these people are fucking in jail? Like, let's be real. The world's got to keep going, dude. I need TV shows this year. Somebody's got to do it. A few of these guys are going to go down. But it's also like, it's not like when you're that rich, like there's only so much stuff that probably gets that little like dopamine thing going off in your brain. Like if like a lot of stuff is cool for me. Like I can order like caviar at a restaurant and I'll taste it and it will be like, oh my God, I'm having caviar at a restaurant. Like blah, blah, blah. Like when you can have caviar whenever the fuck you want. If you can buy caviar and just pour it out in the drain, like caviar doesn't do anything to you. Like if you have 15 of the best cars in the world, like having the best car isn't going to do anything for you. Like at a certain point, it's like there's only so much that you can't, that you're able to do that other people can't do it. I'm sure that's just traffic people, and I'm not excusing it. I'm not. But for people to be flabbergasted that somebody in that position would do that is beyond interesting to me. Like, what do you think these people are doing? And also, they've always done it, and they haven't really hid it. Like, especially like the Diddy thing. Like, at least like the Epstein thing, it was on like his little island, and you took a fucking jet to get there, and he was kind of like in sight but not really. Like, Diddy's been like very out the open about like his behavior. I think like it's not like a surprising thing, and everybody's acting like it's this fucking whole like circus that you've never heard of the Diddy parties before. Everybody talks about the Diddy parties and how fucking crazy they are, and people are like, "Oh, Cat Williams has been telling you since 2004." It's like, yeah, he has, because it's been an open secret. It's not surprising to me. It's just weird whenever this shit comes up, that people just for whatever reason have no ability to just be like, "Oh, that's what really rich and famous people do and have always done and will always do." Like, it's weird that people think they're gonna like flush this from the elites ever, because it's like, that all the elites do it. Like, they have to get recorded like doing stuff to be famous. Like, everybody like is shocked that like people who have control in these industries, like, it is a privilege to be in one of these talent industries. Like, if you're a singer and stuff, like, there's a million people who are probably good singers and stuff, but like, it's like hazing, dude. That's all it is. It's not a surprising thing. And to be honest with you, if you're somebody who wants to be famous, it's something that you clearly have to do, and it's unfortunate, but work at fucking Chipotle, dude. Work at Chipotle. Like, or figure it out and do it on your own. That's also great, and I commend it. But like, the one thing to me that's crazy is how like Usher and fucking Justin Bieber's parents let him, like, Diddy, have guardianship of their children, like, for periods of time. Like, that to me is where it's like a little bit fucking, the parents is shame on you. We've talked about it with the Nickelodeon stuff. Like, why, like, what are these parents doing? Like, and how sick, like, and you're not even getting that much money. You're like selling out your kid for like 6 figures, dude. Like, just work a little harder. Like, you didn't want to get a job yourself. You had to like pimp out your kid to Diddy. It's just so odd. It's so odd. But like, anybody who's like shocked by it at this point, it's just, I don't understand like where you've been forever. Like, for like the Epstein thing never even shocked me. Oh, you mean that these like rich elite people like went and had sex on an island with potentially underage people? Wow, like, you fucking paint me purple, dude. I would have never guessed. Like, are you serious? Of course they did. Of course they did. You don't remember fucking Shirley Temple back in the day in the 1940s? She was like fucking 10 years old, sitting on people's laps on fucking national TV, being told about how fucking pretty and stuff she was. It's been in the open forever. Forever. It's just so odd that these people are pretending that they've never fucking heard of it before. It's just kind of, it's just surprising to me. Anyway, it's not looking like anybody's going to come and get my fucking 99 order, which is disappointing. Like I said, I have COVID, so I probably shouldn't go out, but it's looking like I'm going to have to fucking go and pick up my fucking order from 99. Because no one wants to fucking pick up. It's just a shame that no one wants to work these days. You know what I mean? Someone didn't want to make $8 in tip to go get my fucking 99 and drive it 10 minutes away. Instead, I'm going to have to be a super spreader. Does anyone even have masks anymore? I don't know where the fuck I'm going to find a mask in my house. I have to go over to fucking 99 and have to get my fucking order. I'm also looking at my fucking notes. Also, so I did travel for the first time by myself, which was fantastic. I went to Europe. Went to Europe in August, which was great. I was very nervous traveling alone, especially when I got off the train in Brussels and I didn't see another human being in the center of Brussels, and I'm like, ooh, I made a mistake. And it looked very Soviet-esque in a lot of the neighborhood I walked in, and I did not see anybody even sitting at the cafes outside. And I was walking along a beautiful river, and it didn't look like there was a single fucking tourist. I looked like I was the only tourist. There did not look like there was any locals around, and there was a few people at coffee shops, and that's about it. And I was like, oh, I made a mistake. I am staying here for 3 days. And then I actually walked up into the like heart of the city, and it was beautiful. A lot of tourists, very nice area. It was kind of a lot more of a mellow Amsterdam, I would say. Very similar architecture in that sense. One thing I did find interesting is that they still have a statue of King Leopold II up, which to me, granted, it did have a lot of like red paint and stuff on there, so they're at least acknowledging it. And this is coming from an American who we have like Robert E. Lee statues and stuff still up, which is not great by any means. I'm not saying that. Even some of the founding fathers, obviously, it is a tough look having a statue. But there are definitely levels to it where King Leopold, like, single-handedly was responsible for, like, 11 million deaths in the Congo. So I'm shocked he still has a statue. One sec, Brooklyn's calling me. Anyways, I'm going to wrap up on this. I had a phone call, then I had to go pick up the Uber Eats order, even though the whole reason I placed an Uber Eats order was to not have to pick it up. What I was saying was I think it is pretty a difference between having a Robert E. Lee statue. Yes, he was a slave owner, and yes, he probably shouldn't have a statue up, and I agree, actually shouldn't have a statue up because he was on the losing side for a losing cause that's also the bad cause, and you normally don't put up statues for loser dweebs, so I don't even think Robert E. Lee should have a statue, but there's definitely a difference between Robert E. Lee having a statue and King Leopold II, who is solely responsible for about 11 million deaths in colonial Congo. I was surprised they still had his statue up there. But the way I will wrap up this pod is by saying that it amazes me. So I live in Plymouth. Plymouth is not a small town by any means. If you look it up, it says like the 2022 population is like 60,000. I would estimate it's closer to 80. I don't live in the fucking boonies. Alright? Like I said, I'm not feeling good. Throat's a little sore. Have a little bit of a headache. Don't want to get other people sick. So I ordered Uber Eats. I have not ordered Uber Eats since I have been home. I did a lot in Somerville. You'll take my hat off and I'll admit I did a lot in Somerville, but I do not in Plymouth. I just don't do it. I don't order a lot of food out, and if I do, I will go and get it. Tonight, I did not want to go and get it, so I ordered Uber Eats. I tipped $10. I live 10 minutes away from where I ordered Uber Eats from. No one came and picked it up. You're telling me in a town of 80,000 people, there is not one high schooler, not one college dropout, not one unemployed person who likes to be a grinder, an entrepreneur who works for themselves. There's not one person on Uber who wanted to make about $15 for 15 minutes of their time at most. It's beyond me. How can we be, like, this sounds incredibly privileged, and I understand there's problems going on all around the world. I understand that. Is this a first world problem? Absolutely. But I have been accustomed to a certain level of convenience now. I am a pampered pooch. That would be like me just leaving the city and not being able to have YouTube. It doesn't make sense. I don't live in Western Mass where there's 5,000 people in my entire town, and there shouldn't be an Uber driver. Statistically, in a town of 80,000 people, there should be at least one person picking up Ubers in the area I'm at. It makes no sense. It makes no sense, and it just shows a lack of incentive in this generation that's honestly sad. It's honestly sad because there's probably 4,000 high school seniors. There's probably about, out of those 4,000, I bet about 1,500 of them don't go to college for at least 2 years, if they go at all. You're telling me not one of those people could be on Uber right now, delivering food, looking to make $15 to drop off my 99 at my house? It's honestly a shame because there's just other people who will do it, and that's why I think America is losing. Is because people don't see they don't look at the worth. They don't look at the worth. Should I be doing Uber? I honestly might be. Now that I know that there's this ability, I might just turn it on. And if I have to drive up to Taco Bell to get Taco Bell and drop it off somewhere, I might do it. This seems like a fucking steal. It seems like a scam. How is no one in the town? Like, statistically, it almost seems unlikely. It wasn't even like they couldn't find a driver. They couldn't find a driver. In Plymouth County, there's not one person on Uber right now. It's mind-boggling to me. Mind-boggling. And it's honestly a shame that we just don't have people who work hard. You know what I mean? Anyways, I would love to start doing podcasts more. If I don't do it with Joe or Aaron abroad, or if I don't have a guest, I will start doing them by myself and do them like this in about 30-minute snippets, nice and digestible for your commute. If you'd like to come on the podcast, reach out. I would love to have you on. Best wishes to Daddy Prokop. I haven't talked to him recently, but I know he's daddying it up. Like I said, Aaron is no longer a U.S. patriot. He is abroad, so the best of wishes to him. And, we appreciate everybody who has listened, follows us on social media, and has reached out recently and asked if the podcast is dead or not. No, the podcast is not dead. Much like the people in this town, there's just been a little bit of a lack of incentive recently, but I would love to get back into it because I have missed doing it, and I have missed connecting with you all. So anyways, that is going to be it for me. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, on X, Instagram, subscribe on YouTube, like and share, and thanks guys. Talk to you. Peace.